Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you tonight with a little video about an upcoming project. You guys know that every time I get a new firearm in that's going to be reviewed, I like to show you guys ahead of time, get your thoughts and opinions on it, and tonight we're going to go back to my old original concept of the Fort Worth Colt guy. I got a Colt on the table, and this pistol is coming to us from a friend of the channel. His name is Richard, and he lives over in the Fort Worth area. So yeah, the Fort Worth Colt guy, I guess, kind of original stomping grounds. And it's a Colt, and from somebody in Fort Worth. And this is a really interesting pistol. It is, in case you're wondering, the model O1991DA. And DA stands for double action. The O1991 kind of indicates that it's a 1911 and it's a Series 80, but it's definitely different. Now, Richard told me that he picked this pistol up down in Burleson, and I guess it was a used gun, and here it is. Now, he contacted Colt about this pistol, and he discovered there was only 300 of these made. It's a 1911, but it's double action only. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, Jason, that's a double eagle. It's actually not. That's a completely different model. This was I'm going to say prototype pistol or a limited run pistol that was premiered at one of the SHOT Shows, and it was geared towards law enforcement contracts. And at that time, I guess, in the early 2000 teens, there were still agencies that were looking for 45s, even though most agencies were moving on to 9mm from 40. And I guess Colt was trying to capture the whole double action market because a lot of law enforcement agencies were wanting double action pistols. They didn't want to have single action pistols or double single action because they were worried that cops might accidentally discharge their weapon. They wanted to have a positive way of making sure that the gun was only fired if the officer really intended to fire it. And double action was one of those ways that they could do that. But of course, what happens when you have a double action only pistol? Well, the trigger can be a little bit heavy and the gun might not be as accurate. Well, it's an accurate gun. I should say that when shooting it, because you have such a long, heavy trigger pull, it can affect accuracy. But that's what Colt marketed this for. And he got a factory letter on it, and it's only a run of 300. It's in the traditional blue that I've seen on pistols of that era, and I have a few guns like that. I believe, I'll have to check here, let's see. That might be an aluminum frame. I'll have to check and see. I'll have to put a magnet on it and see if it is an aluminum frame. But it's a full-size, 5-inch barreled, 1911, and it's double action only. So let me go ahead and safety check the gun here, drop the magazine. Obviously, we have nothing in the chamber. And that is the trigger pull right there. You can see that hammer coming back. And then you got to reset it, so forth. I guess there's a slight reset. Not really. Actually, that's kind of weird. I don't know. I still have to do my research on this. So I just noticed, okay, so if the gun had a round in the chamber, I'd pull the trigger. The hammer is recessed into the slide. Now the hammer is flush with the back of the slide, and if I release the trigger, there's a click, but that's not a reset. Yeah, so you have to fully release that trigger. There's a second click, and there we go. So it is a double action pistol, and I just don't use a standard 1911 frame. There's no cutaway in here for a traditional trigger. It has some type of plate on the side. It does not have a grip safety or an elongated beaver tail. You can see into the main spring housing. I don't know if that's going to come across. Maybe you can see because there's a little hole right there. That's not typically found on 1911s. But I guess it takes down like a traditional 1911. So this gun appears to be unfired. And Richard said, I can fire it. So we're going to do a range report on this, going back to the beginnings of everything. Jason, as the Fort Worth Colt guy, reviewing a Colt, and a rare one at that. Might not be the most popular pistol that's ever been made. After all, it's double action, and they only made 300 of them. If the thing took off, obviously, there'd be more of them. And this just goes to show, I think, the false thinking of many gun companies, because many gun companies get known for certain things and gimmicks or styles of guns, and they just don't innovate. And they continue to try to take that style of gun and modernize it versus make something new. The one thing that I can say about Kel-Tec, while I'm not a huge Kel-Tec fan, is I admire them for their constant innovation, always creating something new and different. But Colt, of course, is known for 3 guns, essentially. The past 30 years has been known for 3 guns. The 1911, the Single Action Army, and the AR-15. And so what do? When law enforcement's looking for a new pistol? Let's make a variant of some type of 1911. That's what they do. It's like, hold up a second. Why don't you just design a whole new pistol? We got striker fire guns, polymer guns. Nope, 1911. You know, other companies do that, like Benelli. Benelli came out with a pistol. They're known for their inertia-driven shotguns. So what do? They try to scale down the inertia system for a pistol. Or HK in the 1970s, well, they were known for roller locking guns. So what do? They scaled down the roller locking system for a pistol, the P9. So that's just what I think companies get into. They're like, we're the 1911 company, so we're going to make some variant of 1911. Just go with something polymer. Be innovative. I know Colt did try that with the M2000, and that was a fail too. But I don't know. This is going to be interesting. It's definitely different, and it's so cool to have something that there's literally no other videos online about. So what do you guys think? The Colt's government model double action. That's what's on the slide there. And that's not going to come across on the camera. So, but you guys will obviously get better close-ups when I do the range report and things. So what do you guys think? Chamberlain 45. It's a 1911. Kind of. So anyway, if you guys know anything about this pistol or any information I should consider in the review, let me know. So, as always, thanks for watching.